So in today's video, we are going to design a door. We will do the modeling thing in this tutorial. So for this default cube, I am going to press X to delete it. You can also see the shortcut here and Shift A, and we are going to add a plane. And I'm going to rotate this plane around the X axis and 90. So it will be in front of us. If I press 1 on numpad, it is the front view. Now I am going to grab it, G and Z, make it like that. Press the control so you can track it as to scale. And now I'm going to scale it along the x-axis like that. And if I'm going to press the control, I can see it's snapping with the grids like that, or even like that. That's good. And then S and Z, and again I'm going to press the control. So basically we want to snap it with the grids like that. It's not if you don't want to snap it with the grid, it's okay, but I'm just doing it so I know the size. Okay, and Control A and apply all the transformation, and then again right click to origin to the geometry like that. And I'm going to delete the slide and also delete the camera, or we can hide the camera. Okay, this is just the plane 1, G and Z. Move it above by pressing the control so it snap with the grids like that. And now go to the edit mode by pressing the tab, or you can also go here. Okay, now basically I want to, for these two points, these two vertices, I am going to bevel them. So press shift and select these two, and you know that control B is used to bevel the edges. So these are the vertices we want to bevel them. So I am when there is two method. I am going to press control shift and B, so it will bevel that, or I am going to press control B and then press V, so it know we want to add the bevel for the vertices. And then just rotate your wheel on your mouse so we have this another vertices in the middle, so like that. Okay, now basically we want to uh, add the edges here. So how we can do that? We can use the knife tool. So by pressing the K on your keyboard, it will activate this knife tool. So I am going to select this one, this vertices, select this one like that. And basically we want to make it a straight line. So how we can make this knife tool a straight line? By pressing the A on your keyboard. So keep pressing it, and when it touch this edge, I'm going to leave it and then press enter, so it will add this cut. And again press K, select this vertices, and we want a straight cut, so press A like that and then press the enter key. And again K for the knife tool, and select this one and press A, and second point here on this edge like that, and then press enter. And again for this one, press K, select this edge, and for this straight line I'm going to press the A, so this knife tool will cut a straight line, and then press enter. So you can see we have this cut here. And again control R to add a cut in the middle like that, and so we have a cut in the middle. Okay, so this is the wooden door, the wooden pieces of the door. So we have this one. Now I am going to select these outer edges, and we are going to duplicate it and then make it a separate object. So press Alt. Now I'm going to go to the edge selection mode, Alt, and select this one and press Shift, and make sure you selected all of these edges. So I did that by the shift and alt. I keep pressing them and then selected the whole edge. Or the other way is that you press shift, select this one and shift and select this one and then select this one, alt, select this one. Make sure you selected all of these edges and shift D to duplicate it so you can see these outer edges are duplicated, and then press the right click to place it in its initial position. And now we want to separate it. So to make, so here at this point we basically have the two objects which are not connected in the same single profile, or you can say a single object. Like here is the plane, but we have two objects which are not connected, so we want to make it a separate. So we are going to press P. So these are the option. We want to separate this object by selection. Now we have the plane 1 and plane 2. So this plane 1 is basically the wood blocks, and this one will be the stone or bricks. Okay, now go to the object mode, and here I am going to select this brick and go to the edit mode, and we can basically hide this one. So here basically we have this these edges shapes only if we press A. We can select it, and you can see we only have the edges. There is no thickness to it. So go to the object, and here we are going to add a modifier which is basically solidify, and we can make it a solid object from this one. So go to the edit mode, and we want to uh, extrude it. Press E, and here you can see we are going to extrude it and extrude it along the y-axis like that. Okay, and go to the, and here you can see we added the solidify. So basically we have to increase its thickness. We wanted it outer or inner. So basically you can see we have to check the even thickness, so it will add the thickness, the same thickness on all the sides. And we can also decrease its size if we want it in inside like that, or if we want it outside like that. Press 1. So we edit the thickness, which makes sense. Okay, that's good. This value is good, I think so. Okay, the other thing is that you can also delete these bottom edges if you want. So I am going to select these, not this one, these edges X, to delete these edges. So all of the bottom edges are deleted. Okay. Now, if you think this thickness is good, you can go here and then just go to the object, and you want to apply the modifier. So it must be important. If you want to apply the modifier, you must be in the object mode. Apply. So the modifier is applied. Now, if you go to the edit mode, you can see the profile is added. Now we have the edges here and here. If the modifier was not applied, we only have these edges which we just extruded. Okay. Now here we have these brick wall, and basically the all the bricks are connected. So now we want to separate these bricks. So if I am going to wooden and just G and Y, so move it in the middle like that. Okay, hide it. Now we want to separate these bricks. Okay, go to the edit mode, and here I have to select all of these edges. So basically press the alt, and if you click here, you can see all of these loop of the edges are selected, and then press shift and alt and select all of these edges, and not this one in the middle like that. The other thing is that you can also control R and add three of loops here, and control R to make the three loops here. So we just added this geometry by using the Control R. Okay. Now for these edges, I want to make them flat, straight on this plane. So X to scale it and scale it in the Z direction and then press 0 so it will be flat. You can also see that. SZ0. Do them for all of these edge loops. SZ0. Also select this one. SZ0. Select these loops. SZ0 and select all of these loops. SZ and 0. Okay, now these uh, edges are flat. You can see that. Okay, now again Control Alt, sorry, and select this loop of edges, and then press Shift Alt and select all of these. Okay, and here I'm going to press right click and mark seam. So the seam is added. So here basically in the UV editing or shading environment, we add these seams to separate the objects or something like that. If you know the meaning of the seam, this is the simple definition. Okay, now the objects are basically separated at this position. If you click, if I am go here, face selection mode, if I select this one or select this face and press L, you can see we only selected this face. If this seam is not added and you press L, the whole object will be selected. So it basically divided these. The things are connected, but basically these are separated. The seam is added here, like a wall. So basically it's separating the object from it, but basically these are connected. Okay, so we just select this one and then leave this one and press move to this face and press L, and same way leave one and select the other. So now basically we want to separate this object. So we basically want to keep a single object but separate these objects. So when we are doing working on the wood, we basically use the P key. So what the P key did, it will basically separate the object and make it another object. But for this bricks, we want it the different objects but in the same object. And to do that, what we basically need, we basically want to disconnect the objects. Now the objects are connected, but we want to make them different object. The objects are not connected. So press Y. So when you press the Y, now the objects are, it is basically a single objects, but these things are not connected. If I press G, you can see that. The object is a single object, but basically it's separated. Okay. And now basically we are doing this thing so we can add we are making the bricks, and there must be some gap between these bricks. Now I have to select all of these things, and if we press S, uh, make it here individual origins. If I press S, you can see we are basically separating these objects like that. So basically you can see the gap between them, and now you also see the objects are separated, and here we have the open faces. So we have to close it. So if we close it one by one, it will take a lot of time. So if I go here on mesh, and here you can see cleanup and split, merge, fill holes. So basically we want to tell the blender fill all the open faces. So now you can see it's added. Now select all of the object by pressing A, and we basically want to close. The gap is very big, so we want to close this gap. So S, something like that. So basically we have the gap. If we go to the object mode, we can see we have the gap, but I think this gap is also. So S and press the control, press the shift, sorry, like that. So we have the gap, and we can see we have a smaller gap. like that is enough. Okay, so for now, go to the edit mode for this object. Basically, I want to select this face and go here under the global, make it normal. So I am going to G and Z, increase it like that in the Z direction, and also this face and this face, and press 1, Shift X, Y, S, Z. Make sure individual regions are selected. S, Z, G, Z, like that. And basically, when we move them, you can see there is a gap. So L, L, press 1, and S and Z, S and Y to fill this gap. S and Y. Select these faces G and Z, L, S, SX, SX. So we want to fill this gap. GY, make it in the middle so we can scale it. SY, SX, Z, like that. And same for this one, select this one, press 1, and G and Y. So this is in the middle of these gaps. And now we can see the gap is enough. If you want to make it less, press L. So it will select this one, S and X, to increase this gap like that. Okay, press tab. So you can see here we added these bricks and these also have the gap. So it is just showing that these bricks are attached. And if I show the wood, you can see we make this door like that. Okay, we will work again on this one. So for now, I am going to hide it and just open the uh, show the this thing, the wood. Press tab, and here I am going to press 3. So we are in the face selection mode. I am going to select this face, and this face, and again press Y. And these objects are separated but are in the same objects. Basically, the objects is not connected. Okay, press 1, and here I am going to add Control R, and we basically going to add some cuts here. So I have to redo it. Control Z. Basically, first we have to add the loops. Control R, Control Z, Control R. Add 3 loops, 4 loops. Place it in its initial position. And now press 1 and face selection mode by pressing tab. And now select all of these faces. All of these faces, and now press Y and to separate these. And go to the vertex selection, press 1, and here I am going to enable the proportional editing and random, and make sure we connected only is not checked. Make sure for this one. And now basically we want to open the gap between these wooden. So G, and I'm going to increase its influence like that. And here G, basically two vertices must not crossing each other. And you also have to make sure for that. So basically you can see here this vertices is crossing here. So I'm going to make it like that. Make sure you enable the proportional editing. So just check for the vertices which are crossing each other here in that direction. Make it that open. So here you can see it's also crossing each other. Make sure for all of these vertices. It's okay. It's okay. Here this one. Okay, so if I press A, so everything will be selected, and if I press E to extrude, you can see these are extruded like that. So that much thickness is good. And here we can see the wooden blocks we have here by just separating these objects. And here we can also add the bevel modifier like that, and 0.02, that will be good like that. And now open the brick, and you can see we have this tool. Okay, now select this one object and edit mode. Basically I am going to select this face, press 3, select these faces, I to insert like that, and then E to extrude in this direction, to just add a little designing, and just to add the randomness in it. So this brick we want to make it G and X, G and Y, sorry, Z like that, because here the normal are selected, so we have to make it global. And this brick we want to G and Y and make it a little bit like that. Press 1 and press 1. So you are in the vertex selection mode. I have to select this vertices and G like that. Okay, that's good. Now we basically have to add two wooden pieces here, and then hinges and door, then the door lock. Okay, so Shift A, I am going to add a plane, and R X 90, press 1, G, go here, S and Z, make it smaller like that. G to place it here at this position, press tab. Basically we have to move it forward, G and Y, and make it here, G and Y like that. So it's in front of this object. I am also going to move this backward, G and Y, this wooden pieces like that, and G and Y to move it like that. It's just touching these wooden things. Okay, Control A, add the scale, and Shift to sorry, tab to go to the edit mode. Press 1 on your numpad, and I am going to G and basically move it in extraction here at this position like that. And this one G and Y to little bit inside of this wall like that. Okay, now for these two vertices, I am going to select it and control B and then press V to bevel to these vertices uh, like that, and press A and E to extrude it to add the thickness like that. So basically this is the one wooden. I'm going to press A to select everything and shift D to duplicate it and move it in the Z direction, press C. And the second one, I'm going to place it here. So we have these things like that, and add the bevel 0.05 like that. And now the two hinges are left. So for that, I'm going to select this one, press tab to go to the edit mode and shift Z so we can see in the X-ray, and press 3 so you are in the face selection mode. I am going to select this face and shift S, and we basically want to move our 3D cursor on this selection to cursor to selected. So here we have this cursor, press tab to go to the edit mode and shift Z so we are in the solid view, and our cursor is here in the middle of this wooden, and shift A, and we are going to add a cube, and not just make the size of the cube smaller like that. Press Z, G and X to move it like that. Just to make it smaller, S and Y to make it smaller in the Y direction, or we can also increase it like that, and G and X to just touching it, this one, and S and Z to make it bigger. So basically this hinge will be in the center, and G and Y like that. Okay, shift A, sorry, control A, apply the scale, and press tab to go to the edit mode, and I am going to basically control R, and here I am going to add two loop cut here, and for these two edges I am going to control B, add the bevel like that, and S and Z like that, G and Z. No, it's good. Now select this one, press 3, select this face, and control B. Basically have to select these two faces and then add control B. So we added the same size on the top and bottom. And now select this whole loop. Basically we have to select Alt and select this one, and Alt and Shift and select this whole loop of these faces. And then Alt and S. Sorry, we have to press E to extrude it, and then right click to place it in its initial position, then Control S to shrink it and make it smaller like that. Okay, and then add the modifier, the bevel modifier, reduce its size 0.05, and here we go, we can shade smooth it like that. And we needed two hinges. Select this one, shift D and Z, and make sure it's in the middle, G and Z. Just make the top and the bottom of the hinges and the top and the bottom of this wooden like that. So we have these two hinges here. Now just the place of the door lock is left. So I am going to press 1 and select this 3D cursor and place it here, and shift A, and we are going to add a curve, and here you can see the circle. See, there is a lot of curves here for me. If these are not showing, you have to go to the uh, preferences and add the add-on for these curves. So that's why a lot of curves are showing here circle. So we added a circle and R, X and 90 like that, G and X to move it here. Press 1. So just verify the sizes. So for the size, make it smaller like that. G and Z to move it and place it here. Control A, apply the scale. And now if you select this circle and go here to the curve properties, object data properties for the curve, and here under the geometry, here you can see we can add the thickness to this one. So depth, I am going to add like that. And now basically we have to convert this one into the mesh. So go here to the object, and here we can see object convert, here convert to mesh. So now this object is converted to mesh. So press tab, and here you can see we have a lot of faces here. Okay. So now basically we have to select some rings. Select this ring, and same on the other side. We want to duplicate them. Shift D to duplicate them, and then P to separate them. And now go to the uh, object mode and select this faces which we just extruded, and then S to scale it. And basically we can add a modifier for it. So this one, go to modifier and add a solidify. Even thickness, control A, make sure we apply the scale. Okay. Okay, we are good. And also apply the bevel for it. So basically we have to apply this, we have to apply the solidify modifier. Okay. Tab to go to the edit mode, and here I am going to select by pressing shift, select these faces. Make sure we have the symmetry, and E to extrude it. Basically we want to make it normal. E to extrude it like that. Press 3 and G to move it, make it flat. And these faces we want to make it flat. SX, SY, sorry, global, S, Y and 0. So it will be flat like that. Okay, then go to the object mode And here we have to add a platform. So this one attached with it. Only just a cylinder, rotated RX 90 S and Y. S and Y. So G and Y. Select these two objects, G and Y, to attach it with this cylinder. Okay, now the design of the door is done. So I am just ending this video. You just do and add the colors and lighting everything because the size of video is, I think, is very lengthy.